can you tell us about your pandemic time recordings?
Yeah, so during the pandemic, the life completely changed for everybody, and I decided to make those recordings, and it was just kind of an idea to, first of all, for myself to stay in shape, because we didn't know in the beginning or in the middle of March like how long it's gonna take. Honestly, I expected like maybe a few weeks, but it was like 3 months at the very first stage. And I started to do the recordings just because I wanted to show to my students and also encourage every students all over the world, like just because we have a lockdown, we don't necessarily need to stop our life. And I started to record every day something else, and of course after a couple of days or weeks it turned out to be like regular, and people were asking me to record this and that, and it was really very difficult because I used an iPhone, just iPhone 6, nothing, no technology, nothing, no extra microphones, nothing. Everything what you hear is like uncut, and it was like that. And I had only 2 hours to record because my neighbor was hitting the wall otherwise, so it was like total crazy. So we had an agreement like 2 hours in a day, and that's it. And I should have been somehow proud of that, because I started this madness, what is coming on us by the social media these days. So now you can find many other people who are recording them, practicing session, and upload on Insta or not anymore Facebook, more like Insta or TikTok. And honestly, I feel a little bit ashamed I did that. And I have a good excuse. That was the pandemic. Because I think there is a good way to use social media, and the way how we are using it now, it was kind of developed during the pandemic time, and I just don't like it. Recently, somebody asked me to do the same thing on Insta and upload their recordings to make something more popular, and I just refused. So I did my share that time when we didn't have a chance to go anywhere and we didn't have anything else to do, just watch the videos on social media and watch movies and stay home. But now I think it's not the time, so we have to go back to the real life. And at this moment, it's like kind of a transition. It's a mixture of the real life and the online life. And so I'm really happy I did that, and I'm proud of that. And I got many nice feedbacks those days. But nowadays, I just don't want to do that anymore. It was also very intensive and very tiring. You can imagine 90 consecutive days you have to record something. So at the end, I was searching for new pieces. What else to record? Our repertoire is really small. But I don't think this is the right way to do some videos and show off and upload it to the social media platform and say like, look, I'm capable to do this. I can play this fast. I can play that staccato. I can do this. This is not music. It's showcase, and we have to be a bit more responsible, more sophisticated, more educated, and more serious than that. So when I see somebody playing a little part of the Francais concerto and playing super fast, okay, yeah, great. and show me how you can play the full concert. I'm more interested to that. And maybe I'm not going to be popular with this opinion. I don't want to hurt anybody, of course. It's absolutely far from me. I'm happy if somebody is doing this kind of things, and happy if somebody feels like he's devoted to this, but I'm not anymore.
Can you show us a technical exercise for clarinet?
So everybody asks, like, what do you practice? And everybody has some secret, like, oh, this is my secret exercise, and if you do that, then you will play amazing. But I have a bad news. There is no secret. Like, if you do this exercise, you will be amazing. Of course, if you repeat any kind of exercises a million times, most probably you develop. But the most important question is not like what to play, but how to play. You can play any kind of exercise if you pay attention of the details, and you are using and pay attention that what you are using the exercise for. So I think playing clarinet is, of course, expressing your musicality and expressing like how you want to play certain passages. But in the other hand, there is another side of playing an instrument, any instrument, including the clarinet, that's more like a sport activity. So you have to master the sport activity of the instrument to be able to express freely your artistic ideas. And that sport aspect is, for me, means like you play the clarinet absolutely effortlessly and the most efficient way. So first of all, the most important in case of a woodwind instrument is the wind itself. So it's basically us. So I practice how to control my air column and airstream. And together with that, I'm also controlling the legato and the slurs and the intonation. And so on. So from low E to octave and then back. And so on. And then from the semitone higher from F, then F sharp, and so on. So this exercise, playing these intervals, always bigger and bigger intervals, helping you to voicing the registers very well, helping you to feel the resistance, the difference of the resistance of different notes, helping you to find the best position of every each note. And of course, you have to use the right technique, otherwise it's not going to slur perfectly. So this is one exercise which I really like. And the other one is a tonguing exercise. And I know now everybody thinks like something really fast, articulation exercise. No, I don't do that. I do the quality of the tonguing. And this is just, I start in the full B natural, because in the low register, of course, the attack quality is very easy. So I don't know if you can hear the separation between the notes. Not really. So in that case, something like this. So I repeat on the semitone higher and go up to the, let's say, C, or maybe even higher in the altissimo register, to make sure, like when I am tonguing the reed, nothing is disturbed by the movement of my tongue. So the position, the embouchure position and the air support is the exact same, remains the same, and my tongue is moving as smoothly and as small movement as possible. And in that case, the intonation will be always sustained. The attack quality will be good, because sometimes when your tongue, like, you can feel like the intonation is wobbling, like the beginning of the sound is a little bit sharper, and then you find the right position. And of course, in case when you play the Mozart concerto in the beginning, all these notes, G, C, are going to be sharp compared to the piano, because the attack quality is not really good. So this helps a lot, and also it helps for the positioning the embouchure. So if you do that for 10-15 minutes, the instrument sounds much better. And yeah, we fight always with the reeds. The reeds are never really good, especially before the concerts, and not even mention the auditions. So I like to play some extra crazy stuffs, like let's say some difficult multiphonics to adjust myself better for the reed. And also, when I was young, so this question is a little bit strange, like, what do you play in exercise? As a professional, you never have time to play that, and you always should. And when you feel like something is wrong, then you keep a day off just doing the basics. But unfortunately, I don't have time to do this regularly every day. But when I was younger, I like to play something which I found very useful, like playing the instrument and singing at the same time. Because if you have any kind of pressure on your throat, then you can't sing while you are playing. So if you are able to sing, then that means your throat is relaxed and there is no pressure. And immediately, if you stop singing, then the instrument is going to sing, and the sound quality is improved. So I would say these are the basic exercises which I like to use, and of course, tons of scales.
What is your setup?
So the setup, well, I think the first, which is the most important in case of the setup, is the player. Don't ever look for particular sounds and say, oh, which mouthpiece to use? Okay, I'm gonna buy that, because that mouthpiece would work for some person, might not work for another one. But of course, it's also interesting to know. So I exclusively play on buffet crampon clarinets. I have quite many. And this one is a Mopane Legendre B-flat instrument, and I really love this clarinet. It's absolutely fantastic. And I do have a boxwood Legendre as well. So I would say these are my primary instruments at the moment, the Legendre. I have, of course, BC21, and I have also R13, and I have the old Elite model, which is fantastic, but the Legendre is the one which I'm using the most these days. And I use only D'Addario Reserve Classic 3.5 reeds the last 10 years approximately. With the ligatures, I'm sorry to say that, but I have to say, because I'm a Silverstein artist, but this one is not a Silverstein, because I just picked up this, I just got this ligature recently, and I try it. And this is, according to Michael Collins, once I gave him actually a Silverstein ligature just before his concert. He wanted to try, and he asked me, can I use this on a concert? And I said, of course. And he said, it's always good to have some little gadget before the concert to change, just to have some new impressions. So I have more different kind of ligatures. And the mouthpiece, that's an interesting thing. So this mouthpiece is a Gleichweit mouthpiece which made in Vienna by Johannes Gleichweit. I'm working with Johannes for 15 years nearly already, and the model is model Varga. So basically, it's my own model, and I'm really happy with it. And I'm not picky on the setup on different clarinets. Even I'm not really changing mouthpieces. I'm always changing from my model to maybe another model of mine. This is a B model P, which means the intonation is 4/4-2. But today morning I played on BW because in the United States, of course, the intonation is 4/4-0, so the BW is a little bit lower. And I can switch back and forth, no problem. The reeds, I'm a little bit more picky. I'm more sensitive about the reeds. I usually use 8 reeds out of one box, so I'm not picky on the type of on the quality of the reed, but I can't really change for another reed. I need a very long time to get used to if I want to switch from this Reserve Classic to any other brands, any other, even a different Addario reed. It's not easy for me. Instruments, mouthpiece, ligature, no problem, but the reed type is different.
What was your professional career?
So I started my professional career quite very early. I was only 21 when I got my first job. It was in the Győr Philharmonic. But I didn't like the few things. I still studied at the University of Szeged, which is quite far from Győr. So, and we traveled a lot with the orchestra at that time, and I also had to travel back to the university. So there was lots of traveling, and I would say I was quite irresponsible because I went for the audition just because I was competitive and I wanted to take part of the audition, and I got the job, and of course I accepted, and I resigned very soon. And not much later, I started to study at the Liszt Academy in Budapest, and there was an audition for the radio, and that was my dream, the radio orchestra in Hungary. That was the most characteristic orchestra, to say. I don't know why. Maybe it's not the level. It was just in my mind. I never really wanted to go to the National Philharmonic or the opera. For me, the radio was the dream. And so there was a job opening, and I went there and I got the job, and I started to play in the orchestra. It was in '96, and later I had to leave, but it's a long story, so I don't want to explain. And I went to another orchestra. I got the job there as a principal, and a few months later, that's why I had to leave. There was an audition for principal clarinet in the radio, and I went back and I got the job again, and that was in '97, and technically I was there for the next 25 years, except that period, during that period when I was working in the Singapore Symphony Orchestra. And playing an instrument and being a professional musician gives us incredible opportunities. So imagine if you are not a musician, you're just working somewhere else, how many times you have a chance to visit some other country, how many times you have a chance to work in some other country. I know you personally, Jordi, who is interviewing me, like you Spanish, but you were in Hungary, in England, and in Luxembourg, and I don't know, so many places. So this is the thing with all the musicians, and personally, I really like to try myself out in different cultures. I like to experience, to live in different cultures. I lived in Paris for a little while, in Singapore. That was absolutely extraordinary, and the orchestra was great. I had many good friends there, and the country is really amazing. I was working in England and still teaching at the RNCM in Manchester, so that's completely different than Singapore if you just think about the weather and the food. And yes, now I am in Bloomington in the Jacob School of Music in the United States, in Indiana. And so only the clarinet was capable to offer me such variety of their life and such experiences in different continents. And not even mention the solo career, like I was playing concerts basically, except Africa, everywhere, and I was teaching, giving master classes from Japan to Lima, Peru, even in Cusco, and I visited the Machu Picchu. So this is a great thing to be a musician, and of course, now you are receiving lots of things, lots of experiences, lots of education, because when you are playing with a new musician, new musical partners, you always learn something. But you also have to give a lot. And personally, I try to give back a lot to the society. So if somebody is reaching out and asks some kind of help, I always try to be very open to that person and always try to help some way, because in the long run, I think that's what we older people have to do. Because when I was young, I also received lots of help and lots of advices from various musicians and partners and teachers and orchestra colleagues who helped me to progress and play better. And that's what we all have to give back to the clarinet community and the clarinet society, to the new generation of the players.